Hello and welcome to my video lecture on organizational trends, which are motivating the whole need for data warehouses. And, in reality, most corporations at this point have already begun a data warehousing project, realize that many of them are struggling with this. Many of them, it's very difficult to change a data warehouse once you've put it in place. But what's happening is that organizations realize that they have no single system of records, that they have these disparate systems that they need to gather information from. These systems are not synchronized. The organization needs to analyze the information in a balanced way, right? So we need a fair organization-wide agreement on how we're analyzing the data. And that, again, can be a very, very politically charged process. You'll hear the terms customer relationship management and supplier relationship management. We have systems in place here at Hofstra that handle this kind of process. Again, the Banner system has a module associated with our relationship management. Things like this would be associated with, I'll give you an example. Right, we have students applying to the university. Now, one of the things we want to try to avoid would be to overwhelm these incoming students with communications, right? We don't want to scare them off, for instance. Thinking about that, we want a way to organize our communication. What's the word I'm looking for? Campaigns, right? So, as a student starts with this university or shows interest in this university, or how do we find that out? So we have to reach out to the high school information, where the student starts filling out forms, and those forms get stored in large data sets that are associated with maybe the states or international or national systems. So we go in, we find out that this student has marked that Hofstra is their third choice of universities. So now there's our first indication that we've got a student that we should start trying to communicate with. Now, there are a variety of people that might want to communicate with this student, but as an organization, we have to control this communication. We have to know, did this student receive our brochures? Did we send them an email? Do we have their email address? Did we make a phone call to this student? Have we visited this student's high school? If this student has communicated with us, we need to keep note of the fact that this student communicated with us. What if this student is an athlete, and we want to see if this student is interested in joining one of our NCAA teams? A whole host of communications are going to be going back and forth, establishing a relationship. And that relationship management software is designed to handle just that kind of communication. We need to see that the student has received information. We need to keep track of who the student is talking to or communicating with. Remember, we want a relationship, and typically the strongest relationships are relationships based on the one-to-one. So we want one admissions dean speaking to any particular student, so that anytime that student has a question, they get referred to that person. Because if they don't, what happens? Now you start repeating things, or the student doesn't feel that you really know their issues, etc. So it's all about customer relationship management. So that kind of information needs to be warehoused as well, so we can analyze those trends to make sure that if a student, what was the success rate of this communication campaign in getting this student to actually accept at Hofstra University? Or once a student is here, what kind of communication campaign did we have with that student to make sure that that student registered on time for classes, paid their bills on time. All of that kind of stuff is enormous and very difficult to organize without something like a data warehouse. So that is the end of my video lecture associated with trends in organizations and what motivates them into developing data warehouses.